Here we go. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You probably hear an echo, but it's okay. Yeah, it's here.
Wow.
It's happening. I mean, who would have thought? Not me. I don't think anyone would have thought. Let's
I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
I said 6 games. All right, let's talk about it. What's up, Steven? Yes, it is evening here, but as soon as we saw the news, we were like, you know what? Let's just talk about this. And if anyone's live, say what's up with us. Anyone in the chat, let's talk about this as we go. But Deshaun Watson, obviously, it's official that he's been suspended 6 games. Why don't we go to the NFLPA on Twitter, Badaki? Let's look at the NFLPA on Twitter if you can pull that up for me.
yeah, 1 second.
And let's read their announcement together that they just released here.
NFLPA.
Pulled me off. Wake up with Ray. Yes, sir, Steven. But let's talk about this.
I'm just trying to pull up. There we go. NFLPA.
I think you NFPA.
I know.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so the announcement, it says, our joint statement with Deshaun Watson on the impending arbitration decision. So this is actually before, okay? So this is before the announcement, and it says, in advance of Judge Robinson's decision, we wanted to reiterate the facts of this proceeding. First, we have fully cooperated with every NFL inquiry and provided the NFL with the most comprehensive set of information for any personal conduct policy investigation. A formal federal judge appointed by the NFLPA and NFL held a full and fair hearing and has read thousands of pages, investigated documents, and reviewed arguments from both sides impartially. Every player, owner, business partner, and stakeholder deserves to know that our process is legitimate and will not be tarnished based on the whims of the league office. This is why, regardless of her decision, Deshaun and the NFLPA will stand by her ruling, and we call on the NFL to do the same. So let me tell you exactly what this was. The NFLPA knew exactly how many games it was, and they knew what the backlash would be, because some of the language in this is very obvious that they are preparing for backlash. It says, every player, owner, business partner, and stakeholder deserves to know that our process is legitimate and will not be tarnished based on the whims of the league office. Wow. Some very harsh language right there.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I was expecting him to have a little bit more harsh. A little bit more harsh of a. Let's see, breaking news: Deshaun Watson.
Let's go to Adam Schefter here.
Let's see.
Or Ian Rappaport's
yeah,
fine.
this is Ian. Yeah, this is Ian here. So it has all this. I don't know if you want to read all this.
Do we want to read around the NFL?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson informed by Judge Sue L. Robinson should be suspended for 6 games. Excuse me.
For violating the league's personal conduct policy. NFL Network Insider reports that there will be no additional fine accompanied with the suspension per a source. Shout out to a source. NFL Network Insider Tom. Yeah, okay, so NFL Players Association issued a statement. We saw that. It will not appeal her ruling. Watson's suspension follows his 3-day hearing in Delaware earlier this summer before Robinson, who was jointly appointed by the NFL and NFLPA. The disciplinary hearing concluded on June 30th. It was announced. It was announced about the settlements. Let's get down to the actual meat of this. Uh, okay, so essentially, it's going to be 6 games. That's official. It's officially 6
Yeah,
games.
it's official shits games, and
I wanted to read a specific tweet because some of the verbiage around this was that he was found at fault, which means, in my eyes, um,
trying to
in my
find it.
eyes, that also comes with basically saying he's done some of these things. Is that an admission at all? Um,
Yeah, it's
Let me try and
interesting.
find that.
Yeah, I'm trying to just see what I can find here. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, even bro says suspension shorter than
Yeah,
than Ridley, which I think that's all. Yeah, that's crazy personally.
yeah,
And even tells you the games that he's going to miss and the game he will come back for. He's missing the Panthers, the Jets, Steelers, Falcons, Chargers, Patriots. He is coming back October 23rd against the Ravens.
that's going to be such a good divisional game. Hey, can you look up Dov Kleiman? DOVKLEI. I want you to look at his, and he's basically comparing Calvin Ridley.
KLV. Wait,
Um,
D O what?
Yeah, it's Dov space Kleiman, KL.
Kleiman. Here we go.
Yeah. So he talks about this Calvin Ridley one.
Kyler Murray made a bet that his team will win a game in the NFL. He got suspended indefinitely through at least the entire 2022 season and possibly more. He also lost $11 million in salary. Deshaun Watson, meanwhile, received 6 game suspension. He only lost $1 million with respect to the Cardinals wide receiver. So I mean, he goes more. DeAndre Hopkins received 6 game suspension for PE violation. Deshaun Watson was facing 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I mean, I guess we can ask the chat how they feel about this. I think the general consensus is people aren't going to be happy about it. Hey, Tom Pelissero, go to Tom Pelissero. This is what I wanted to read.
Tom Pelissero here. Let's see.
Let me know when you're there, and I'll read it
Which
out.
one? So the discipline.
Judge Sue L. Robinson.
Okay, here we go.
Judge Sue L. Robinson's decision says Deshaun Watson's pattern of behavior was egregious, but notes that behavior was nonviolent sexual conduct. In explaining the decision to, okay, nonviolent sexual conduct, meaning it was sexual conduct, but not violent?
I mean, we really
Are
gotta. We
are we
really
idiots, or does that mean there was sexual misconduct but it wasn't violent? Tell me if I'm an idiot, because that could also be the case here.
non-violent sexual conduct. I'm literally gonna specifically Google this.
So it's a sexual harassment, not assault. El Tigre says. Jeez Louise. By the way, guys, it is 10:40 p.m. over here in Sydney. If you could do us a huge favor, drop a like as we're covering this information for you. In indecent exposure and such. Okay, got it. Suspension shorter
Right.
than D Hop. J Fool says. El Tigre says, I mean, Kaepernick got blacklisted for saying cops bad. Yeah, good point. Seven says conduct though, not misconduct. Okay, fair enough. What's up, Albert? Welcome,
What's
brother.
happening? What's happening? Yeah,
6 games feels light. Timothy said up above.
it does feel very It does feel very crazy that that's going to be happening the way it happened.
So I think the next thing we need to talk about is how this changes our rankings. And I've been looking at it. I have some instant reactions. I have some instant thoughts. And we will do one huge rankings update for you guys this weekend.
So I mean,
Upcoming.
I think everyone, yeah,
We
100%.
are going to update our dynasty redraft. We might put out some best ball rankings, but I will say let's talk about a redraft perspective.
I mean,
In 2 quarterback formats, Deshaun Watson now becomes very interesting.
yeah.
Where are you willing to draft? Let's start there. Specifically redraft Superflex, Deshaun Watson. I don't think it's
I'm
crazy to say quarterback 20 around
I
where
personally, yeah,
Mac
a
Jones,
hundred
Trevor
percent,
Lawrence is.
yeah, agreed. I'm happy to take him. Honestly, I'm happy to take the chance on him at the end of the second round and try to get someone like a Daniel Jones in the late rounds. Maybe you get a Mitch Trubisky for the first 6 games. I
You're
mean,
saying in redraft.
yeah, in a redraft,
You're gonna take him in second round?
in a redraft superflex, yeah, I'm willing to take that chance, 100%.
Okay.
Like if I take,
That's a little early for me.
I'm willing to take that chance. I mean, 6 games, it is early, but the upside is tremendous. That's the difference there.
Yeah.
You know,
Second round, I mean you're not gonna have him for seven weeks with the
uh,
suspension plus bye week.
I
Doesn't that
think
feel really early to you?
no, 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 not for me. I actually feel really confident in taking him at the. I said the end of the second, so I'm like 212, 211, 210 on the turn there
Okay.
area. I mean, if we get him at the 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, I mean, it's really not a tremendous difference. And like I said, then get a one of these guys, a Daniel Jones, whatever other quarterback, Davis Mills for the first 6 weeks. Because I mean, the first 6 weeks, I think he once he comes back, I think this easily he's gonna just it's a shootout every time. At least that's the
Okay.
hope. That's the hope and expectation.
Sure.
Um, so
Okay. Let's talk about. I'll just say my piece on it. I think second round's a little too early for me. I'm probably gonna be drafting him around mid third to fourth,
I actually don't think he would
just
actually go
because
that
I
low, to be honest. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
I hear you.
I'm gonna say my thoughts. I would say mid third to fourth is where I'm comfortable. I mean, it's the same reason that I'm not drafting D Hop, where a lot of people are drafting him. We've said the same thing. That's the same reason that it's a worry. You're gonna not have him for 6 games, and they have to do their bye week, so you're not gonna have him for half of your regular season in fantasy. I'm definitely still willing to draft him, but I personally am not comfortable to draft him that high. Um, let's go to Amari Cooper though. Um,
Yeah, Amari Cooper, I think just shoots right back up. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, we can even just go to sleeper here. Look at one of our latest mock drafts.
Amari Cooper is now my wide receiver 21. Okay, and that is drastically different. He was my wide receiver 30. He is now my wide receiver 21. And I don't think it's crazy for someone to say that he should go maybe higher than that. Talking about Deshaun Watson here, he's unquestioned, without a doubt, his number one target in this offense.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
has produced top 12 wide receivers multiple years. Wide receiver one finishes, I believe, with D Hop. If not one, it was two or three. Obviously, different prime, different player. But Will Fuller was able to be a top 12 wide receiver with Deshaun Watson. So Amari Cooper is someone that I'm definitely willing to take a shot on. And there's no suspension here. You still get to play him and still get enough targets to be flex worthy. So
Yeah. Um, I I don't have my rankings up right now. I would definitely like to wait on Amari Cooper, but I think he definitely falls right back up into like the fifth, the fourth round here. I think people will love to take a chance on him. I mean, this is one of our recent Superflex mock draft. You see him here at the 7-4. Um, uh, one quarterback draft here. You see him go at the 6-3. So I think people will definitely take a shot on him, between Cortland Sutton, Chris Godwin area. But like I think here actually still feels very comfortable, but I can see him going a lot higher now. People taking the chance on him, waiting the 6 games until
yeah.
Amari Cooper does come back. So
Yeah, I got Amari right around where I have Terry. I have Amari right around Deontay. That's where I currently have him. And that could change, obviously. That's just instant reaction. I would say as
mm-hmm.
well, David Njoku is someone that I find much more interesting. Again, another player who will still be involved in the offense, but when Watson comes back, these guys could be potential league winners. And Njoku might not be a league winner, but Amari for sure.
Yeah, Amari is definitely up there, and then obviously the running backs, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. You see here he went at the 2-7. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my phone. You
Yeah,
see here,
I would say Nick Chubb for me. He's now my RB 12. He was my RB 15. So, and honestly, that could change. I could actually put Nick Chubb higher than that at this point. keep in mind our rankings are PPR, so in a half PPR format, I think Chubb easily finds his way into my top 9 or 8. But you can't underestimate what Deshaun Watson will do for Nick Chubb. Also, Kareem Hunt. I now have Kareem Hunt ahead of Tony Pollard as my running back 27,
Mm-hmm.
and that could also change as well. I could have him ahead of Miles Sanders. I don't think that's crazy to consider. Around the AJ Dillon range, I think now is where you're going to see Kareem Hunt and
In
where he deserves to
redraft.
go
Yeah.
in redraft formats. Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are definitely going to go up here. Kareem Hunt. I'm just trying. Nick Chubb. He was my RB14 currently. He'll definitely go up as well. I mean, there's another guy we still have to take account for. Is definitely Alvin Kamara going off that suspension. If he's going to be, I doubt he's going to be suspended now after what we just seen.
Well, he will be suspended because what he did absolutely broke the league's rules. So he will be suspended. The only thing we don't know is if it's this year or next year.
Right,
That's what we have to find out.
right.
He can potentially push it to next year, but the reports are that he 100% will be suspended.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually all very interesting on how this is all going to play out. The this schedule for the Browns. This is what I really wanted to pull up here. Team schedule. Where can I find team teams? Here we go.
As you're doing that, I was just going to quickly talk about dynasty rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So, Amari Cooper, I will say, guys, that in theory, this shouldn't change dynasty rankings too much. Um,
I think now, no, yeah, it doesn't change. I think he goes back if you have, for example, we have a dynasty startup on Thursday or technically Wednesday, Tuesday night. Excuse me. So I would expect him to go in the first or second round.
yes, yeah.
So I think
He
it
is,
comes right back.
I think, to be honest, though, I think Deshaun himself, I think, changes the most in dynasty, and I think now I'm taking him as my quarterback 8. So right behind Trey Lance. I think I'm taking Deshaun over Dak, over Wilson, over Stafford.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, maybe we should be taking him over Trey Lance. I don't know the answer to that just yet in my mind, but because of how much I believe in Trey Lance. But I think he's right in that category, end of round 1 in dynasty formats. I
Yeah.
think you
Browns
should
Super Bowl
see
confirmed. Big
you should
question.
see him.
I have David Bell. How much are we rising in Dynasty? I like David Bell as well. I think now it makes more sense in the second half for him. If you have him, he can definitely be somebody. I think he's definitely interesting now in specifically best ball leagues. Taking him in one of those last picks in your best ball league and in Dynasty. I always liked David Bell, but that was only with Deshaun Watson, depending on the situation, on kind of where he was going. So I really like him now. We just gotta wait and see how he kind of progresses. He is on the PUP list right now, so let's
Yeah,
see if he
Bell
gets.
was my wide receiver 53. The only reason he's moved recently was because of John Mechie's, situation. He is my wide receiver 52. So, I still have him around the Christian Kirks, the Tolberts. So it doesn't change a lot for me
Mm-hmm.
in dynasty perspective. But I would say, I don't know why, but Njoku, I feel like I'm willing to take a shot on Njoku again in dynasty leagues, where I feel like there was a point there where I just was not interested.
Yeah, so Jacoby Brissett now is just the biggest handcuff for the first 6 weeks. Drafting
Yeah,
him now, which is great, I guess you can say. Um, Even Donovan Peoples-Jones, there was already talks about how Donovan Peoples-Jones had a really great chemistry with Deshaun Watson as they were at practice, and that's somebody that's also really intriguing.
sure.
Another guy in a best ball format, or in a redraft format where you can take with your last picks. He even might be on waiver wires in some of your leagues, depending on how your league formats are. Dynasty, he's always been intriguing. I think he definitely goes up as well. Um, so yeah, it's definitely very interesting. He comes back
Agree.
once again, week 7. He's playing the Baltimore Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium, which is the Ravens Stadium. Bye week 9. So he has 2 games. Can get a feel for it. Come back. Miami, Buffalo, Tampa, Houston, Bengals again. So the second half of the season, he's pretty much divisional games. It feels like.
Yeah.
I wonder if any
I
of these games are primetime games. Anyways, continue.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm very excited because I was taking Amari Cooper in a lot of dynasty drafts, and people kept telling me not to draft him, but I feel like now he's gonna have pretty good trade value, and I feel like I'm gonna easily get first round pick out of Watson. I say that because Chris had said it as well. I have a team that's rebuilding. Who would you target to offload Coop for? Honestly, man, I think we got to ride this out. Let's give it a couple days. Let's see what the community says on Amari Cooper. But I
Hmm.
think without a doubt, you just got yourself at minimum a 2023 first round pick with Amari Cooper after this news.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
think that's gonna be his value here soon.
yeah, it's just gonna continue to rise as the season goes, and he's gonna be a guy that people are going to want to get on the load now and then flip right when Deshaun Watson comes back. I think that is a strategy a lot of people are going to do. I mean, that's something that I'm thinking about doing, or
as
maybe I'm
as
I'm
someone
holding.
who owns Amari Cooper, I don't have the mindset of selling him low. So I don't imagine that,
Well, selling him high
other
at
people
that
would want
point.
to do that either.
Yeah, selling him high at the point when right at the point when Deshaun Watson does come back. If you wanted to offload him, not saying you do
Yeah,
specifically, just if you are an Amari Cooper owner, you could wait until the build up and
sure.
then have wait until he comes back.
Yeah,
So that is definitely an option for
yeah,
you
for sure.
guys. But yeah, I mean, this is
As
I
far as
I don't think it's
morality of
crazy.
it, I mean, who's I mean,
I wonder what the Browns are saying.
I don't think anyone can really sit here and say, yeah, that feels right. You know, you know what? That feels pretty good. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's okay. Like, 6 games, that's okay. You
yeah,
know, it's not that's not what people are saying. Like, six
yeah,
games? Are
no,
you serious? I think
I
like
don't
even
think
if it was like a
anyone's
year,
saying that.
people would be like, "Damn, a year?" I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know, maybe.
I think a
Um,
year people would have been like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Um, Judge Sue L. Robinson's decision also says Deshaun Watson must get all his massage therapy from club therapists per source.
yeah, I saw that as well. I was trying to find. Is it Tom that tweeted that? Tom Pelissero.
Tim says Browns can't say anything really. Corey says because nobody actually knew anything about these weak accusations. Yeah,
Yeah,
fair
here we go.
enough,
No
man.
massages. No massages on direct club personnel. Gosh.
Pardon my take. Just posted something that's pretty funny.
I mean,
Calvin Ridley seeing the Deshaun Watson suspension.
who is this judge though? I mean, maybe this is what we need to do.
Formal federal judge, and then she was basically, um, you
United States
know,
District Judge.
assigned by the NFL.
Very. So she was assigned by the NFL. See, that already sounds sus the way you just said that.
Yeah. Jay Fool says no. No, she's a real judge. I mean, everything she's legit. Jay
Nah.
Fool says nope, feels really dirty, but that's the legal issue. We don't play fantasy points per morale, which is true. That's just how the NFL works. The NFL. I don't know if you guys remember this. Back in January, we've been talking about this for so long. Actually, when did he get traded? Was
I think
that was March? That was March
yeah.
or April.
I think it was
We just
March.
kept saying sorry. We just kept saying that the NFL cares about money. So Sleeper just released a notification and it's a player update and it says Deshaun Watson's status has changed from healthy to sus. I'm like, yeah, this guy is sus. You're right. You're right, Sleeper. You're onto something here.
He's in the building. Suspended practice today. Players suspended less than a year are generally permitted to participate in all activities through preseason. So, we can he play in preseason? I wonder if he is going to play.
Um,
If he has
that's a good
opportunity,
question. I don't know the answer to it,
I
but
wonder if he has opportunity to play in preseason. He hasn't played in nearly 2 years. Why not get some reps in preseason to actually see how he feels, get a rhythm for it? Get him back in. It's not going to be just like the same game, normal season, but at least he's on the field. Maybe he can get hit. He can make some throws. He can call some defense. Call some
mm,
plays, etc., etc.
by the way, under Deshaun Watson's previous contract, he would have lost $11.6 million from a 6-game suspension. Now it's $345,000 based on his salary. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's why they did the salary the way that they did.
Yeah, everyone's saying he can play preseason, so he'll play suspended for regular game season, not preseason games. Chosen said he was like, I'm not getting Cooper. Not allowed back until week 7 though. Yeah, against the Ravens.
Yes, week 7.
Yeah. So, hey,
Well, what we can say is he's a fantastic football player, but obviously really weird situation, and doesn't feel right. But 6 games, no matter what you think about it, it is 6 games, and that's how we have to act going forward in fantasy football. Joe says, "What did Tyreek do for trying to murder his baby?" I don't know. I can't remember.
gosh.
But anyway, 6 games, guys. It's officially 6 games.
Yeah, and I was looking at that earlier. So once again, 6 game. He's coming back week 7 here. You can see they're playing at the Baltimore Ravens. Then he has I think this is a Sunday night game versus the Cincinnati Bengals at home, if I'm not mistaken. First Energy Stadium. I think that's the Brown Stadium. So that'll be the first one there. Um, and then has a bye week. So he has 2 divisional games. Comes back. I mean, the Browns' schedule is pretty tough: Miami, Buffalo, Tampa, Cincinnati again, Baltimore again, the
Yeah.
Saints, Pittsburgh. I mean, I think these are pretty tough games.
With him having a 6 game suspension,
Well, I mean, how can they?
I I still what I was gonna say is I still feel like he can finish as a top 12 quarterback this year.
Right.
Is that too aggressive? I
I,
think that's within a
I
possibility.
think it depends. Yeah, I think it really depends. I mean, are the Browns going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, does Jacoby Brissett really lead this team to any wins in the first 6 games? The Panthers, the Jets, the Steelers. I guess the Falcons it could be a one game they can win. The Chargers, the Patriots. In my mind, all these games are. I mean, maybe 2. They can maybe 3. Sorry. Now Carolina, Jets, Atlanta, the 3 teams they can beat. 3-6 or 3-3. Excuse me. They come back. He comes back. Not bad, I guess.
Um. Yeah. So you can't play in preseason games. That's right. Well, I think we've talked about everything. But if you here's what I'll say. I brought a video about what was it a month and a half ago now, Badaki? I can't remember where I talked about this huge drop in Watson's value in Dynasty. I hope you're able to get in on that at that point, because now it's gonna be really hard to trade for him, near impossible. Like think about how hard it is to trade for Trey Lance, Lamar. Um,
Just
it's gonna be impossible to trade for him now in Dynasty. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of that. If you weren't able to watch that video, go subscribe to our Dynasty channel because we're constantly making videos and telling you about good values within the market. Um,
yeah.
and I can actually try and find that. Let's
Yeah.
see. I'll find that. I'll find our channel here and paste it in the chat for you guys. But we're always posting videos, always trying to give you guys good advantages in your leagues. But that's it for today. It's 11 p.m. our time here in Sydney, Australia. If you can do us a huge favor, drop a like on the stream on the way out. Show your boys some love.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys tonight, your time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for a underdog best ball draft on this page. So we'll see you then.
All of ya.